Oh, hey guys, what's up? Yeah, I'm not really doing that much today, just kind of chilling out, catching up on my reading. I have so many books I haven't even touched yet, so I need to get on that. Um, how you doing? How's that thing that you were doing, you were talking about the other day? Is that going good? Huh? I don't know. I guess you probably want me to talk about something. Oh, well, Jinbe is in the corner there, so I guess I could talk about him. Actually, that makes sense that he's down there, because I actually do have a gripe. I do have something I want to bring up involving Jinbe. Few things. It's probably not going to be a very long video. Look down at the time code, and you know that if that's accurate. Let me clarify. If it's less than 20 minutes, that's a quick video for me. Okay, but seriously, Jinbe, alright. So, is he part of the crew or not at this point? Like, I understand, like, they had that big, heartfelt moment there at the end of Totland, like, you're a member of my crew, you're coming to Wano, and then Jinbei, stayed behind, of course, and we all were, like, a little upset over that, but it makes sense for the character. I already talked about this in length. The thing that I'm kind of annoyed by is that, it doesn't really feel like he's a member of the crew, even though it was stated he is. And it's not like it's not just like the big things, like, okay, he's not like hanging out with the crew right now, because that was explained. It's the little things, like with the cover pages. And I'm not the first person to bring this up, I'm certainly not. But in the last two cover pages, back to back to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Shonen Jump, we had these big color spreads for One Piece. And one of them was like the Straw Hats all going for a shopping trip, and the next one was the Straw Hats at the Olympics, because Japan is going to be holding the Olympic Games in 2020, so that's that. But no Jinbei in either one. And that's like little things like that really make me feel like, oh, he's not real. It doesn't really feel like he's a Straw Hat in spirit yet until he's included in that spread. Okay, now there are reasons for this. This isn't just like Oda forgot all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be drawing these cover pages. Well, should I include Jinbei? Yeah, probably not. No, because people have said, like, maybe something happened to Jinbei while he was in Totland. Maybe he suffered some kind of injury. Maybe he lost an eye. Maybe he lost an arm or a leg or something. And that's the reason Oda's not drawing him in the cover pages, because that would give away what he looks like. My answer to that would just be, you know it's a cover page, right? It doesn't have to be canon. You can draw him however you'd want to draw him. You could, even if he did lose an eye, let's say, fighting back Big Mom or whatever, you could still draw him in the cover pages with both eyes, and just have him there. You're the author, dude. It's a cover page. No one's really gonna complain. Like, let's say, for example, in the next cover page, Oda decides to draw all the Straw Hats, I don't know, flying airplanes in the sky, flying through hoops or something, and he chooses to draw the Straw Hats pre-time skip rather than post-time skip. Would any of you really complain about that? Would any of you, like, slam down Shonen Jump like, no way, Oda! No way! I refuse to believe to see pre-time skip Zoro flying a plane around. It has to be. Oh, I can imagine it now. All the Straw Hats are in perfect formation, and Zoro's off to the side doing barrel rolls for no reason, like he's completely lost. You actually need to do that now. Do the cover page with the planes. But no one would be upset over that. So I'm like, okay. Now, going back to that eye patch thing, there's actually a little point to mention. You may notice that throughout the years of One Piece, there are some interesting design choices with characters, okay? What I mean by this is that there are certain stereotypes, or, like, maybe not stereotype is the right word, but, like, cliches whenever you're talking about pirates. Okay, when you were a little freaking kid and your parents read you a story about pirates, or if you were watching a cartoon, like, remember the episode of SpongeBob where Patrick and SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs are all pirates, looking for the treasure? There's always, like, certain, like, jokes or cliches, like, pirates have hooks for hands, pirates have peg legs, pirates wear eye patches. Now, because One Piece is a manga completely centered around pirates, you may notice that that Oda uses those cliches rather sparingly. You don't really see a lot of pirates going around with hooks for hands. He picks one character to represent the hook-handed pirate, and that was Crocodile, and Crocodile is an extremely relevant character to the story. Maybe not necessarily right now, but he's still around. People love him. I think he ranked in the top 20 most popular characters in the last poll, and he, once again, hasn't been in the series since Marineford. In a relevant way. He appeared as a cameo recently, but not like, we actually haven't seen Crocodile around. So Crocodile, very popular character. The peg-leg pirate is Zeph, who was Sanji's master. And in the last arc, well, Zeph didn't actually appear in any more, once again, any relevant way. He did appear, and we got to see what he's up to, and he's a badass. Don't mess with Zeph. One of my favorite scenes of the East Blue is when, the Baratier is probably my favorite arc. Out of all of East Blue, I would probably pick Baratier, because Sanji was my favorite Straw Hat before Frankie showed up. I know Arlong Park and its emotion and everything. It's pretty powerful. I'm just saying because I like Sanji, the Baratier is a really cool arc, because I thought the fact, I even like the villain. I like Don Krieg. I like because he was like this big, gilded, decked out, mech pirate, and he's got all these freaking devices and weapons and stuff, and Dracula Mihawk makes an appearance. I mean, it's a pretty cool arc. But there's that scene where, I think it was Pearl that throws like those blazing bullets or whatever at Zeph, and all Zeph has to do is he just swipes the air with his peg leg, and it just stops the bullets, brushes off the flames, and the bullet just like stops in the middle of the air from the freaking shockwave from the wind impact of his kick, and it just drops to the ground. That was cool. So that's Zeph. But what about an eye patch pirate? Because eye patches are also like, meow, how you doing? I'm One-Eyed Joe, the king of the pirates. Like, who's the one-eyed pirate? Who's the one that has the eye patch? And Oda has stated, I have an idea for that. It's going to be somebody really important to the series when we get to the pirate that's going to have only the one eye and the eye patch and everything like that. So, I think it would be cool if we find out that, yeah, Jinbe went back to fight against Big Mom. Jinbe's definitely going to have some sort of injury from that. Because that would be weird if he just like, alright guys, I'm going to stay behind and fight back the Yonko. I've awesome in fisticuffs when this is my idea of, yo, cousin, you're facing turnbuckle. This is my way of fighting. This is the cringe martial art. You square up against me, this is the shit you're getting. Alright, anyway. But no, if he just stayed behind and nothing happened to him, he didn't get any serious injuries, and he just shows up in Wano like, hey guys, what's going on? I'm like, oh, Jinbe, you're here. Awesome. Well, we're fighting against the freaking Shogun, but you can join in if you want. Awesome, let's do this. So I think it's possible, yeah, he could lose an eye or something, and then he shows up with an eye patch, and like, oh, it all comes full circle. Something else to bring up. In the recent interview with Oda, the one where he states that, the story is 80% done, and I gave my thoughts on that in the last video, but that interview, he also states that there's going to be at least one more member of the Straw Hat crew that's going to join. So, once again, is Jinbe, like, right now, as of Chapter 912, does Oda consider him a full-fledged member of the crew? And he was talking about somebody else? Possibly Carrot. I mean, it would be really cool if the bunny girl could join up, because she's got bunny boobs, and she's also really cool, and she's got Silong transformation and Electro. I am sorry, guys. That was a huge frog in my throat there. I mean, my God, I don't usually cough that long, but that was just, oh man. I should really see a doctor about that. That actually really scares me. I was coughing for a lot longer than I normally do. I'm going to make an appointment right after this video. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, if Oda already considers him a member, and that's all said and done, and that's already been stated in the series, then he must be talking about another character. But because he doesn't draw him in the cover pages or anything, like, does he consider him a member? And he's talking about, he doesn't, and he's considering, oh yeah, there's going to be one more member joining, and that's Jinbe, and then we're done. Because later on in that same interview, he says something along the lines of, and once again, translations, this is just what I get off the internet. I can't, understand this from the straight Japanese, so I just got to go off of what other people say. But another question he answered was, I actually originally planned for the whole 10 crew members to be joined up within 5 years or something. Like, no, I think not 5 years. I think it was like in a year and a half or something. It was like some ridiculously small amount of time. I figured already 10 people were going to be joined up. And hey, he got through halfway, because by the time the crew entered the Grand Line at chapter 100, we already had 5 members, so Oda just assumed, like, oh, I was gonna get the other 5 pretty quickly. No, it ended up taking more like, the better part of 15 years or something like that. So yeah, but he did say 10, that's the thing he specified, and I'm like, oh, so he might be talking about Jinbe, he might be talking about how, or he might be excluding Luffy from that, because that's the weird thing, too, because a lot of people don't, like, Luffy's not considered a member of the crew in that sense of, like, joining up, because he's the captain. He's the one that started the crew. He didn't join the crew, he started the crew. So, and when Luffy was setting out from Fuchsia Village, when he was saying something along the lines of, like, 10 people should do it, does he mean 10 people including him, or 10 people plus him? So for 11. I think that might be a better way of looking at it, actually, because if that's the case, because I think in Oda's mind, Jinbe is definitely a member, and the rest of it's already been stated, like Luffy shouted to Jinbe, like, you're a member of my crew now, like, that's something that's already existed. So I think to make it more, make more sense, yeah, 10 crew members excluding Luffy, because he's the captain, so that would make Jinbe the 9th member to actually join the crew, meaning there's one more. Okay, and Oda also said we're only, 80% done. If we're just going to take that at face value, I think that number's kind of variable depending on where we go. Because who knows, we could get to Elbaf, and then Oda could be like, screw that 80% thing, I want to draw a whole other thing. One Piece makes a lot of money. Alright, One Piece makes a tremendous amount of money, so if Oda wants to go to Shueisha and be like, hey guys, yeah, I know I said that the series was 80% done, but I actually have a whole new idea for this little arc inside of this other arc, so it's probably closer to, like, maybe 30% of the story left. Do you think Shueisha is going to be like, no, Oda, no, stop, you need to finish this series as quickly as possible? I think they'll let him do pretty much as he wants to do. If Oda comes up with a brand new idea for a new arc or a new section of an arc that he never considered before and he wants to draw it, I don't think they're going to be looking at him like, yeah, Oda, you said 20%. You got to get on this. Don't deviate from the schedule. We need to finish this up as quickly as possible here. The fact that this is the most popular manga in the world and it literally trolls in, hundreds of millions of dollars, that's completely... that we don't care about that. You made a promise. 20% done. We're gonna make you stick to it. Yeah, so, yeah. Now, who would be the next crew member to join? I mean, hey, you know where I stand on that one, obviously. But, hey, if we have 20% left, that's like 200-something chapters, 5 years of serialization. I mean, if we're gonna run into another crew member, I'd rather it be, like, sooner rather than later. I'd rather not it happen where it's like, oh, the Straw Hats found Raftel, and then there was, like, somebody living on Raftel, and they joined the crew, and then they were only part of the crew for, like, the last, 100 chapters of the series, and then it's over. I mean, I guess I'd be alright with that, but I would rather it be somebody that we've already known, or somebody that we're gonna meet really, really, really soon. Like, in Wano or something, But you know where I stand on this. I stand with the bunny, because she's the bunny. And hey, you know what? Even if it's not going to be Carrot, can the next member at least be a girl? Can we at least get a third woman on the crew, please? I don't think I'm the only one. I don't think that's weird to say that. It's pretty much a sausage fest at this point. With including Jinbe, the ratio is freaking 8-2. I mean, come on now. It can at least be 8-3. Come on, let's get that up there at least a little bit, alright? But yeah, like I said, I really don't have much more to go off of here. I just kind of wanted to ask this question, because it is something that's been bugging me, and I think it's been something that's been bugging the fandom collectively. Jinbe's not really represented on the cover pages and everything, and it's just weird, because that's like when you're spiritually like a Straw Hat, when you're drawn with all the other Straw Hats hanging out. I don't know, Luffy was doing karate in the last cover page, and you had Jinbe there, and that's, hey, let me expand upon that a little bit. Something else I could talk about before I leave is the whole Fishman Karate thing. I mentioned that, like, okay, if Jinbe actually joins up with the Straw Hats and they're sailing around, Jinbe has access to a unique martial arts skill, Fishman Karate. All right, it's not something like Frankie's cyborg tech. He can't just give that to anybody. I mean, I guess he could, considering he built himself from a scrap island. I'm guessing if he went up, hey Robin, you want some rocket boobs? I'm like, Robin would be like, no. I mean, I guess he could do it if he really wanted to. I mean, he was bleeding out and he just grabbed random scrap metal and he made this, so yeah. But, yeah, what I'm talking about is most characters' fighting styles cannot be picked up easily, But with Fishman Karate, we know that, not just Fishman can learn that. Koala learned it. And I understand they're not going to be masters overnight, but the basics, like I don't know any kind of martial art. I don't. The only martial art I know is from like anime and shit, or like from Avatar: The Last Airbender, like Toph's like praying mantis shit. Like that. That's all I got. But even me, no expertise whatsoever. If I took like a beginner course in karate or judo or something, let's just use judo for example. If I took like, I don't know, 2 weeks of classes in judo, I wouldn't be a freaking black belt, but after 2 weeks of judo, I'd at least know at least 1 or 2 moves. I'd at least know to give like a hip throw or like a freaking lock or something. I know something to work with. That would kind of be this with Fishman Karate. Like, not all the members of the crew would be interested, but you know how freaking badass Robin would be if she learned that? And Robin, she already has ties to Koala, because she was with the Revolutionary Army and all that shit. Hell, maybe when she was members of the Revolutionary Army, maybe Koala taught her some stuff and she already showed it off, like her different like locks and stuff. Most of it hasn't changed, but she knows some new moves. But yeah, Jinbe is like, yeah, I'll teach anyone some basics of Fishman Karate and stuff, because it's all about using the water in your opponent's body against them as like shockwaves and pressure and shit. That would be awesome if Robin could learn that, or Nami at least a little bit more, because I've already gone on and saying Nami's kind of glass cannon-y, whereas, yeah, using her climb attack, she can launch very devastating abilities, especially since, Zeus is in there now. But she herself, I mean, girl works out, she's pretty fit, but if she gets hit directly with like a hockey fist right in the stomach, Nami's going down. I mean, she's can't really get back up after that the same way that, Zoro or Luffy or Sanji could, or Jinbe. Now we have the monster quartet on the team. But yeah, get some Fishman Karate up in there. Teach the crew a little bit of something. Or Chopper. Chopper learns a little bit of something. He has his kung fu point. Once again, they're not going to be masters. They're not going to be able to do all the crazy shit that Jinbe can do, like Water Heart, Vagabond Drill. You're not going to learn the Vagabond Drill overnight. But that would be better world building, too. That would be like, all right, here's how you learn Fishman Karate. Here's step 1 on learning Fishman Karate. Like, maybe you need to start to, like, visualize, like, your opponent as, like, a ball of water or something, and then, slowly, maybe you get, like, a cup of water or something, and you learn how to direct the different flow of it or something. Like, there's, like, a beginning stage to this. I would love stuff like that. I would love to learn a little bit more about this fighting style, because we really don't know exactly, we know how it works, but we don't really know how one learns it. You know what I mean? But humans can definitely learn it, as is the case with Koala, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, anyway, yeah, just a little video about Jinbe. That's all I really got for you today. I got work later, so I'm gonna go do that. You guys have a good one, and then good luck with that thing. You got it. I know you got it. Don't put it off, though. I mean, I'm a procrastinator all the time. Tell you what, that one thing, you can always think of at least one thing. One thing that you've been trying to do the last few months, and you're like, I'll get to it, I'll get to it, I'll get to it. Go and work on it, even a little bit right now. I've had that for a while. My thing was like, last year I had to do one project. I had to call up a professor. I had to finish up this project. And all I had to do was this one thing, this one project, and then I could get my diploma, my bachelor degree. And I kept putting it off. I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off until one day I finally just, you know what? I'm doing this. And I called him up and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to start. Let's do this. And then I only took 2 months and then I got my diploma. So if you've been procrastinating on something, just do it right now. Just doesn't matter if you finish the whole thing. Just get started on it. Inspirational speeches are not my forte. I got really nothing else. Okay, well, I'm gonna get going now. Guys, signing out. Oh, dunk, you lunk.